Sabadi and greetings from the wonderful country of Laos. We begin our journey through Laos in the city of Vientiane, which is the capital city.
Today we are going to go around the city on a tuk-tuk and explore and try to better understand Lao culture. So let's get off the beaten path and see Vientiane through the eyes of the locals.
We have gotten up quite early to go and meet our tuk-tuk this morning, and then we are going to make our way to have a very popular Lao breakfast. And the place where we're going to be having breakfast is actually just like a little table on the side of the street, but it is one of the most popular places here in Vientiane to get a Lao breakfast, and we are super excited to give it a try. This will be our first time trying this food, so let's go see what it's like. The cuisine in Laos is influenced by its neighboring countries such as Thailand and China, yet the unique blend of local ingredients and flavors makes it stand apart in Southeast Asia. Although not exclusive to Laos, spring rolls have become a part of the country's culinary landscape. Lao spring rolls typically feature a delicate rice paper wrapping filled with a combination of fresh vegetables, herbs, and sometimes minced meat, and are often enjoyed as a breakfast.
It's very light. Tastes good. The sauce is a bit spicy, but the actual roll is not spicy, it's just the sauce. Let's try the sausage. It's like ham almost, like pork ham. Trying one with egg, so it's basically the same dough just with a scrambled egg on it. Like an omelette. It's nice, not really. Both are really good, but I think that the traditional one will be my favorite. The egg is a little bit overpowering, so you don't get as much of the taste of the pork mince, but they're both yummy and they're nice and light. Good breakfast food.
After breakfast, we were excited to head out and try some traditional Lao coffee.
Saudi.
Laos has a rapidly growing coffee culture and has been producing quality beans since the 1900s. The full-bodied rich coffee of Laos is one of the main exports of the country. This small coffee shop has been run by this lady and her family for decades and is a popular spot for many locals to start their day. Over here we have some traditional Lao coffee as well as a tea that comes with the coffee. So it's black coffee and then it has condensed milk in the bottom. This little white part here is condensed milk. But they said to try the coffee just like the black, and then if you want it mixed with milk then you mix in the condensed milk. So I'm going to try a sip of it straight and let's see, it looks very strong. It's nice and creamy actually, and it's not as bitter as I thought it would be. I thought it would be like that very strong bittery coffee taste, but it's actually not. I could drink that black. That's really yummy. It's so creamy, it's almost like hot chocolate. Now I'm going to mix in the condensed milk and let's see what that tastes like. Alright, let's give it a try. So it doesn't give it a milky taste, it just makes it quite a bit sweeter. Both ways are actually really enjoyable. It's very good coffee. Go try the tea now.
It's very refreshing. It's almost like green tea in a way. It's very nice after the coffee. So how it works here is that they normally start, like the locals will normally start with 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and then for the rest of the day they will drink tea. And I can understand why, because that was a strong cup of coffee to get going with. Over here we have a snack. It is sweet potatoes and banana, and it's got like a batter around it that it is then deep fried. It looks really nice and crisp. Let's try sweet potato. It is so good. It's quite sweet. It's almost like a sweet batter. It's so crispy. And then the sweet potatoes, but obviously the sweet taste, but it's that smooth creaminess. Really yummy.
That was some really good coffee, and now we feel fresh and we are headed to explore a local market.
Local markets become a lively hub every morning where locals converge to kickstart their day. The freshness of the ingredients is very important to Lao people who like to prepare everything from scratch, rather than use pre-prepared ingredients, as they believe this makes their food more delicious. The cuisine in Laos is unassuming but often packed with flavors, marrying herbs, chilies, and fermented meat or fish. These are served as a salad or along with sticky rice or rice noodles. These markets showcase a wide array of meats, from pork, beef, and freshwater fish, to grilled and dry meat, as well as savory sausages.
Been here nearly 20 years now. Okay. It's like a private run.
Alright.
Most of the veggies grown by the local farmer.
Okay. Right here behind me is a huge local market. It has the biggest wet meat section in the city, and it was huge. I think it's been a really long time since I've seen so much like wet meat. They said that pork is the most popular here, but they also did have quite a lot of fish, and the fishes were busy being like descaled. And then there's also a fresh fruit, a fresh vegetable section, a whole noodle section, which was awesome. We learned a lot about how they ferment noodles and the process that goes into making them. I had no clue it was such a lengthy process to make some noodles. Then they have an import section where they bring in like soya sauces and those sort of things as well. So the market, it was just ginormous. So much variety. Tuk-tuks are a popular form of transportation in South Asia and have been used for many, many years. They're also just such a fun way to explore cities. You get to really see so much more of the city, as many of these towns and cities have little alleyways, and if you're in a tuk-tuk you actually get to drive down and see a lot more of the life and the people. So we highly recommend getting a tuk-tuk tour whenever you're traveling in Southeast Asia, especially in Vientiane. We are having so much fun, and it's really such a great way to see the city.
Up next, we stopped by at a local silversmith shop. At their small workshop, they showed us the intricate steps of making silver jewelry, starting with melting the silver, adding aluminum to strengthen it, and finally shaping the metal to different shapes.
So right behind me over here we have stopped by at a local silversmith store, and the message behind the store is about empowering the people from many villages around Laos. So lots of these people in their villages, their only opportunity for work is to be a farmer, and then they don't get to make that much of a living, or the quality of life isn't always that great. So a lot of them come to the bigger cities like Vientiane, where they will look for jobs. So inside, a lot of the people working here are coming from these villages. They don't come from the actual city,
And then through working at these stores, they're able to send money home and just create a bit more of a better life for themselves and their family. A consistent message that we have seen through our time in Laos, or especially in Vientiane where we've started, is that it's a lot of locals supporting locals. So a lot of these private owned companies or even the private markets, it's all about supporting local produce, local workers, giving them the chance to really have a better future for themselves and their families. So I think it's very important as tourists that when we come here we support these sort of initiatives and help empower these places to give back to their communities even more than they already are. It has started to get quite hot and humid, so we decided to make a pit stop and get some coconut ice cream that is served in a coconut shell, I guess. It smells divine and it's so nice and cool. It's nice and creamy, not too sweet, perfect way to cool down. Over here we have a textile museum where they show you the process on how they make the materials. It starts off with how they get the silk from the cocoon. So behind me they show the process of how they farm the cocoons. Then after the silkworms have made the cocoons, what happens to them next. And then right at the end they're going to give us a demonstration on how they actually make the material.
Silk weaving is traditionally done by the women in the countryside. In fact, it is an honor in the villages as a woman to be a skilled weaver. Weaving is a skill that is passed on from every mother to her daughter in the village. The young Lao women would learn to weave from when they are about 5 or 6 years old. The intricate designs in the clothes convey cultural identities and spiritual beliefs of the Lao people.
The owner actually is the one who is giving us a demonstration on how the looms work. Just behind me over there, she's busy doing it in the back there, and it's such an amazing process, and you can see it's a really lengthy process. So it takes quite a lot of time to produce a full piece of fabric that they can then sell, which in today's time has made it kind of a bit of a dying art form. So it's not being done as much just because it takes so long to do and it doesn't make as much money. So that is also why a lot of these people from the villages are moving into towns and cities to get different types of jobs, because weaving in their hometowns is just not making enough of an income to support their families. On top of the area where you can see the looms in work, you can go upstairs and then you can see a bit of a museum that shows a bit of history of the different types of fabrics, what they symbolize, if they had an important role in history, and then also you can see some of the traditional clothing up here as well. Along with seeing how the looms work, you also get to see how they make indigo dye. So it's quite interesting. 10 kilograms of indigo leaves makes 1 kilogram of dye. They have these big pots that they have the dye in, and then she demonstrates how it can make blue or green depending on how much oxygen it has mixed or exposed to.
For dye this one, indigo leaf, as water, allow alcohol, another leaf, then water green can make blue.
After the tour of the Textile Museum, we were also provided with some lovely butterfly pea tea. This house right here behind me is one of the traditional Lao houses that is on this property. And this house actually was moved here to Vientiane 40 years ago from the owner's home village. So what was happening was that home village was being bombed, so they moved away from it and they brought their whole home, this entire house, with them all the way here. And today no one lives in it today, but you can still walk around and see what life was like once upon a time in the house. As you can see, the bottom has got stilts and it's actually open downstairs. So a lot of Lao houses traditionally were built on stilts, and the bottom part would be open. So during the day, when it was a bit hotter, everyone would come downstairs and chill in the open area, and it would create like a bit of a community vibe where everyone would come and you would just talk and eat, and some would work downstairs on their looms, but it was kind of like a community place. And then at night you would go upstairs and you would sleep, cook, and that would kind of be like the living area more or less. So also the reason for this was the top would get very, very hot, so everyone would come down during the day to relax.
The Sisan family lived in this house until the passing of their mother. Today, Miss Bovan Pomin and her brother have kept the house as a tribute to their mother's memories. It's lunchtime now, and we have opted for a traditional Lao meal. So what we have here is Nam Khao, or a crispy rice salad. So here the salad is made from crispy rice mixed with sour pork or fermented pork, and then they have topped it off with coriander and green onions and also some fish sauce. And then what we also have here is the wrap. So you have to make a wrap from either banana blossoms or betel leaves or even lettuce. So it's up to you what wrap you make. Alright, let's try this. So I have a banana blossom here. Let's put a little bit of this. Then I'm gonna wrap it up. Oops. Yep. Very mild flavors. It's quite yummy, and nothing overpowers each other. It's a very well balanced dish.
Now I'm gonna try with a lettuce leaf. Let's see. Alright, let's give this a try. The crispy rice adds a nice little crunch to it. It's got quite a sour flavor, like a lemony flavor. It's yummy, very like refreshing. There is a lot more to Laos's history than meets the eye. So right now we are at the C.O.P.E Visitor Center, where we're going to go and get to learn a little bit more about this deep history. Laos experienced extensive bombing during the Vietnam War, particularly from 1964 to 1973. It was done in order to disrupt the supply lines of North Vietnamese forces, who were using tunnels through Laos. The amount of bombs dropped throughout is equivalent to a plane load of bombs every 8 minutes, 24 hours a day, for 9 years straight. Yes, absolutely horrific. The bombing had severe and lasting consequences for Laos. By 1975, it had left over 200,000 people in Laos dead and twice as many wounded. What is worse is that an estimated 30% of the bombs dropped on Laos failed to explode upon impact and lie buried under the soil. In the years since the bombing ended, 20,000 people have been killed by these unexploded ordnance, UXO, which continues to pose a threat to the Lao population today.
C.O.P.E is a wonderful organization that aims to provide rehabilitation to the victims of the war. It has also helped in the making and distribution of over 1,200 prosthetic limbs a year to those in need all around the country. Most of us learn something about the Vietnam War at school, but few of us learn about the shadow war that was being fought alongside it. Even today, decades later, the people of Laos continue to grapple with the profound consequences of a conflict that for many remains hidden from the world's collective memory. It was quite eye-opening to understand how grave the situation was when Laos got bombed during the war, and quite heartbreaking in a way to see the documentaries and look at how much people suffered. And what's scary is a lot of these bombs are still there today, unexploded, and they continue to explode every now and then, affecting hundreds and thousands of people, especially in the countryside, the farmers, and just local people who have no clue that there are dangers that lie under the ground. So I would definitely recommend you drop by here if you have time to get a better understanding of one of the more tragic and unfortunate events in the country's history.
We're now going to take part in quite a wonderful activity. We are going to make an offering to go and take to the temple nearby us. So we're going to start by making some wax flowers. Dip in the wax. Shake off.
Wow!
We're done making the wax flowers. We have them over here with us now, and we are now going to decorate this mold of our offering. We have just completed our offering, and it was actually lots of fun making it.
Buddhism is of paramount significance for the people of Laos, shaping their cultural and spiritual identity. There are various Buddhist temples across almost every town and city in the country. The act of offering alms to monks is a revered tradition, symbolizing generosity and support to the community. Devotees present offerings of sticky rice, fruits, and other essentials as a gesture of reverence. The monks, in turn, chant sacred verses and use ceremonial tools to convey blessings, symbolizing wishes for well-being, prosperity, and spiritual growth.
Just finished giving our offering to the Buddha, and it was such a magical and peaceful way to end our day. This trip has just been amazing. Getting to understand and know Laos better has been a truly wonderful experience. It's just been amazing. There's so much more to this country than I ever thought there could be. So I would highly recommend doing a tour if you're here, because you get such a in-depth understanding of all these people and the lives that they live.
Finally, we would like to thank our friend Air for this wonderful non-touristy tour of Vientiane. We had fun and learned a lot about this highly underrated country and its wonderful people. We will link the tour details in the description box below if you want to check it out. Thank you for watching this video. We will be back again soon with another fresh travel adventure.